Welcome to the Real Healing Institute. My name is Michelle Sinclair, and my teachings are based on the Christ letters and the enlightenment that came from studying these Christ letters and my spiritual practice. So today we're going to be talking about frequency and vibration. As you know, each frequency of vibration of sound waves produces its own unique and individual note and tone. So similarly, habitual mental, emotional thought forms produce their own vibrational frequencies in consciousness, and these in turn produce the outer conditions in which that consciousness resides. You could think of yourself as an instrument, right? And that your frequency, whatever it is that you're holding within you, is playing a certain vibration, a certain tone, a certain sound, note. But your thoughts, each of them hold a very specific vibration, just like certain words hold a vibration, right? When you hear certain words, they make you feel a certain way, right? Because they hold a certain vibration, and certain words, they make you feel a certain way because they hold certain vibrations and tones, notes, frequencies. So when you have thoughts that are harmful to yourself or to others, the frequency of these thoughts, which usually lead to words, but the frequency of these thoughts go out in your environment. So it's like you're imbuing your environment with these energies. So here's an example. You walk into a party, and all of a sudden you're in this, you walk in and you feel a vibe, right? And you're like, I'm getting a weird vibe here. What are you feeling? But what the consciousness of the group or the collective or a certain person or whatever it is, you are picking up on the vibration, the frequency that is being emitted, right? And you, being an energetic being yourself, pick up on this. And so you're like, I'm getting a weird vibe here. That's not my vibe. Where's this coming from? What is this all about? What's happening? What has happened here? You know what I'm talking about. So you have a vibration that you emit, but you're you, man. So you don't even really notice it, right? Maybe you do, sometimes you don't. But you just walk around with a certain vibration that you're emitting. Now it depends on what you're thinking about, how you're feeling at the time, right? If somebody ever comes up to you like, hey man, you doing okay? Maybe it's how you look, but often it's the vibe, it's the energy that you're putting out. People can feel it, right? What are they feeling? They're feeling your vibration, they're feeling your frequency. Okay, so now, let's say that you're sitting at home and you're holding your certain vibration and frequency, right? And we typically can be in these patterns of repetition. Same kind of thought patterns, same kind of loops, same kind of things that happen all day, every day. So we're constantly sending out the same type of energy. So what happens, because you were emitting this, your world is not actually solid, it's energy. We know this, science proves this. What happens in your actual environment? Your vibration will be reflected back to you in your visible environment. What does this mean? If certain things break down, you have issues in your house, you have issues in your car, this is because of the frequency of the vibration that you are sending out, that is being emitted from you. You're not intentionally doing this. Maybe you are, but you're just being you, man. You're just being you. And you send these out. You don't even know that you're doing it. But it's happening, and it affects the things around you. So, why does this matter? Well, this matters because it's essentially your life. What you are seeing in your outer world comes from the consciousness that you hold within you, right? It's a reflection. The outside is a reflection of the inside. And so typically, let's say that you see something outside of you that upsets you. It's not about that thing or that person or that whatever it is that you want to blame. It's about you, because it's a reflection of you, of what you are emitting. So how can you bless your world? Well, let's think the thoughts that you would like to have thought about you, about others, right? Think beautiful, loving thoughts towards other people without any judgments. when you look around your house and you look at all the things, you look and think, oh, I need to do, oh, I don't like this, oh, I don't like that. Or do you think, oh, I just love that I'm so blessed that I have this wonderful home, that I'm so cared for here, and all the things. What kind of energy, what kind of vibration, what frequency are you emitting from yourself? What state are you in? Here's the experiment. Let's do this right now. I want you to ask yourself, if you're driving, obviously you can't do this, but I want you to close your eyes and ask yourself, what % of heaven am I living in right now? This is how you know, because heaven is love and fear is hell. What % of heaven are you living in? And get really honest, man. I can't hear your thoughts. Nobody knows. Nobody knows but you. Be honest with yourself. Okay, so now that you have your answer, what is that other % about then? Let's say you're only 68% heaven. Okay. What's the rest? What's the 32? What areas are you allowing that hell to creep into your life and into your mind? Because when it does, this means that 32% of your day, you are emitting frequencies that you don't want to be planting, that you don't want to harvest in the future. But guess what? You're gonna, because you're emitting what you are in the right now. And so if you don't want to harvest that, if you want to be in 100% heaven, well, then you got to rein it in. You got to gain control of your mind. Mind control. What thoughts do you think that depress and deplete your energy? What thoughts do you think that uplift you? Do more of those, do less of the other ones. If there's some harmful or resentment, some kind of thing that you don't like and it's really aggravating you and it's taking a lot of your energy, what is happening is you are planting it every time that you think about it, and you're going to get more of it, and you're going to get more of it, and you're going to get more of it. Every time that you think it, every time that you plant it, you get more. Not only in that moment, not only in the right now, where we're planting everything is always just only in the right now, but you are then going to harvest it again at a later date. And I know you don't want that. So when you can identify, where is this coming from? Why is this present? And you can see where it's coming from. Then when those thoughts creep into your head in the future, you can go, oh, no. I know all about you. I know all about you. Because as long as we are in unawareness, we will continue to project things. We will take things outside of ourselves and think, oh, this is about this person, this is about this thing, this is about this thing. It's all about us, honey. It's all about us. Some people don't like that. Some people don't want to hear that. But it doesn't change the fact that it's true. I've seen in my life how things have played out. And I saw when I was in a pattern, many years ago, of it was just my life. I was just living the same thing over and over. And what happened? Well, your days are like the same over and over and over again. And then when the shift happened, when the tragedy befell, months go by, and then the enlightenment comes, and then I saw and I understood, and there's no going back. You red-pilled yourself when you get into the enlightenment. You can't unsee it. And so then from that point forward that you can't send hate or judgment to anyone about anything, because all you were doing is sending it to yourself. And so when you realize this on such a deep level, you have to operate completely differently, which is such a freaking wonderful blessing, because then you're going to operate differently. And so you're going to be planting new, better, different seeds, different frequencies than you were before, because you know that the old frequencies are unacceptable. And when you get around people who still gossip or do things like that, you're like, I can't be a part of this. I'm not going to be a part of it. I can't do it. And you understand, you have compassion for these people because they don't know what it is that they're doing to themselves. But you no longer participate in that. And then those things, they make their way out of your world, and pretty soon it's so foreign to you that you attract people into your life and they don't do those old things anymore. It's not even a thing. So for a period of time while you're getting out of the old, you will still be presented with it. Like, here Here, you sure you don't want this? You sure you don't want this? But then pretty soon, your life is going to change. Your frequency is going to be so different that people that come in, they're no longer judgmental or critical. They just love people, and they no longer, do these things that you used to do because you were at that frequency. Now it has changed. And then when you learn what you need to at that, vibration and that level, well, then new people are going to come in. And then new people are going to come in, and things change, and your environment change, and everything around you changes because what you are emitting changes. And what a beautiful, wonderful thing this is, because not only does your life improve and change for the better, but you have more proof of the divine work at hand, and you can say, no, look at this, this was how I used to be. This was what my life used to be like. And this is what my life is like now. Now that I don't deviate from what the beautiful Creator wants for me and for everyone to remember. This is a spiritual world. There is nothing that is not the spirit. From a cord that you plug into your wall, to the paint on your walls, to the bricks and mortar, to the hair on your head. There is nothing, to the music. There's nothing in this world that is not the spirit. And so you can see the heaven when you get to that frequency and that vibe in everything, because what you are emitting is that energy of that frequency of divine heaven and miracles. And so when you start emitting these things from yourself, well, what happens? The environment changes, the people changes, the things change all around you and become more beautiful and become more blessed. And what a wonderful thing that is. The highest frequencies are the closest to divine consciousness. Each level of consciousness frequencies creates and manifests as a different condition of existence. And since the highest and lowest vibrational frequencies of consciousness are produced by the highest or lowest spiritual, mental, emotional patterns or forms of consciousness, and by high or low patterns, I mean those which are closest to and furthest from the divine consciousness intent. The higher they are, the more beautiful, harmonious, joyous, and filled and fulfilled are the lives of those who reside within those frequencies. And the lower the frequencies, the more harsh, bitter, and miserable are the lives of those who resonate to such frequencies. Their lives are punctuated with disasters, deprivation, and brutality. But the higher frequencies, the more spiritually loving and beautiful are the thoughts, the creative imagination, the ideals, and the beauty of color and life forms, for they are rising closer and closer and closer to the dimension of universal consciousness, where the frequencies have become so heightened as to level out and to enter into powerful equilibrium, the all power of universal consciousness, the source of being, of all being, which is just love. So basically, the closer that you reside with love, loving thoughts, loving emotions, loving feelings, love, love, love all the time, the more beautiful your world is going to become. And the lower the frequencies, the opposite of that is also true. The opposite of that is what you will experience. So where are your consciousness levels residing? What percent of heaven, what percent of hell? Wake up every morning and ask yourself this. What percent of heaven am I in? Oh, it's only this. Why? What's going on? What's happened? What do I need to let go of today? I want it to be at this percent by the time I go to bed. And what happens when you do this every day and make this part of your spiritual practice? What happens is you are actively working and seeking, and you're wanting this connection with the divine. You are showing your loyalty. You are showing your faith. You are keeping the faith. And by doing this, you become closer and closer and closer and closer to the love, and it sustains all things. It is the most beautiful, wonderful, all-sustaining, all-giving, all healing, all wellness, all perfection that exists. This beautiful love. As you connect with your source of all being, through intent, through just loving intent of like, how, you know what, Divine, show me how I can love more. Show me what areas that I'm not loving and help me to love them more. And you might think, well, I don't want to love this area because it's something I don't want anymore. That's not how it works, darling. If there's a certain area that you don't love, you need to love it extra more, because then you are planting seeds of love. It is about the frequency. It's about the vibration that you are emitting. It's not about that thing or about that situation or that person or that circumstance. It's not about that. It's about what you are. It's about what you are emitting from yourself. So look at that area that you don't love and love it, because it is teaching you something. It is a gift to you. It maybe does not feel this way, but it does not matter that it does not feel this way. Everything is a gift. Everything is a blessing. When you look at it through the eyes of love, you know, I could look at the most horrible times in my life and I could be like, oh, what a horrible thing. Or I could look at it and think like, man, I'm so glad that happened, because that led to enlightenment. It led to my true freedom. It led to the actual truth. What a beautiful, wonderful thing that was, even though at the time I wanted to off myself. But once I got through that, and once I got to the end of it and saw the beautiful that came from it, it's like, oh man, I understand. And so now I understand, just like the story of the lice. If you haven't heard it, listen to some episodes, because it's in here a million times. That everything is a blessing. And it all depends on the perspective. It all depends on the eye that you're looking through. And if you are looking through it with an eye that doesn't feel good, then you know that it's not the truth, because the truth sets you free. And the truth feels like love always, 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 every time. And so if it's not, you are not looking at it through the lens of truth, through divine truth. This does not mean that, bad and hard things don't happen. I'm absolutely not saying that at all. They do, but what I'm saying is when you search deep, you will understand the why behind it, and you will see that it was necessary, and you will see maybe this was tying up some karma for me. Maybe something happened in a previous life and now it's tied up. Maybe this is happening for me so that this could get brought up so that I could heal this from what has happened in the past. Maybe this is getting brought up for whatever reason. But the sooner that you can be thankful for everything, and the sooner that you can love everything, the sooner you get to be thankful and love more things. Because as soon as you see something and you're like, oh, I don't like this, I hate this, well, you're living in hell in that moment. And so you're planting more seeds of hell, right? Who wants to do that? I'm not doing that. That's not happening, man. It's not happening. But when you look at something and you can be like, no, I'm planting seeds of love. Well, pretty soon, darling, you're not going to have any seeds of I don't love this to plant left. Because everything that's presented to you is going to be the love that you've previously sown into the fabric of your lives. What a wonderful thing that is. I love you all so much. Thank you guys for tuning in here today. I have almost daily, but now 5 days a week, Christ Light Circles happening. You can join me totally live through Zoom and come and gain the goodness and the wisdom. There's usually parables and interesting things that come through during these circles. I do them with my friend Laura here in Sedona, live once a week here in Sedona, and not, well, I guess they're always live, but you can actually come in person 1 day a week, and besides that, you can tune in through Zoom. Would love to have you there. There's a link down below. What you can expect from these is energy transmissions, activations, and messages that are inspired and crafted more than likely just for you. Whoever attends, they will gain something out of it. Everybody gains something amazing out of it, and they leave feeling uplifted and wonderful. We also, depending on what comes up, if somebody needs to work through something, we do this. We work through things. I can see visibly with my eyeballs energy in people, and so if I see some energy that needs to be moved or shifted, we will move and shift it during the sessions. and you are more than welcome to come. And it is donation based, and the link for it is down below. I love you all so very much. Thank you for tuning in here. If you have not read the Christ Letters, I would highly recommend it. You can listen to them for free here on YouTube. You can download it for free on the internet. So, love you all, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.